so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're joining me from. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. You can be among the first to receive it. Then go to the comment section at all times. Leave your comment, drop your contribution. If you have suggestions, make it out there. If you have any criticism, put it down on the comment section. It will make us to get better, presenting you a better program. Thank you.
To your platform, share to your group where you belong, share to WhatsApp groups. Keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing. Share the broadcast as you join. Kindly share so that we can reach out to as many people as possible. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining wherever you are joining from. If you're joining from Biafra land, you're joining from Asia, you're joining from Europe, from America, from Australia, from Canada, from New Zealand, whichever part of the world you are joining this very broadcast from, I say you are very much welcome, and may Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to guide and protect you and secure you. I appreciate you as you are watching. If you are coming for the very first time, the platform you are watching from is an autopiloted platform, autopiloted by Chukwu Okike Abiama himself, under the spokesmanship of Mazi Simon Ekpa, and on the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is where we stand. And we continue to remain there no matter what the world might say, no matter what the people might think, no matter how everybody might decide to change their ways or begin to say something differently. We will never change from what we are saying. We will never change from our message. We will never change from our stance. We are standing for the truth and nothing but the truth. And as long as we still have life as Biafran, as long as I personally have life as Biafran, I will continue to support the cause of Biafra. And I will follow anybody that is standing on the truth. As you can see today, the only voice we have that is standing for us on the truth is Mazi Simon Ekpa. Mazi Simon Ekpa is building on the foundation led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And today, Mazi Simon Ekpa is the one carrying everything on his shoulder. And once again, I use this opportunity to congratulate our spokesperson, Mazi Simon Ekpa, who has been appointed as the Prime Minister of Biafra government in exile. If you don't know that, I believe as you're watching now, you have to be very, very much aware that today we have a Prime Minister in Biafran government in exile, and that Prime Minister is appointed. That appointed Prime Minister is our spokesperson, Mazi Simon Ekpa. The Biafran people have chosen him as the Biafra Prime Minister of the government of Biafra in exile. That is where we are today, and as you can see, he merits it. I congratulate him and I applaud him for that very post that was given. That is an added job for him. An added job. He is the spokesperson of Biafra, at the same time the Prime Minister of Biafra and the government of Biafra in exile. This is the development that we have seen, and it is a very welcoming development, and we appreciate him. We thank him so much for taking up that responsibility. He has been doing a great work representing Biafra far and wide all this while before he was appointed. He has been representing Biafra, speaking for Biafrans, fighting for Biafrans, making headways, showing us the roadmap and green lights to Biafra. So, if he's finally being appointed as the Prime Minister of Biafra government in exile, that is a very wonderful development. All this while, so many people have been waiting for this opportunity to ask, who is going to be the Prime Minister of Biafran government in exile? The question has been asked several times. People have been asking this question several times, but finally, we have gotten a Prime Minister, and in the person of our spokesperson, Mazi Simon Ekpa. And I applaud him, I applaud him, I applaud him, and I pray that Chukwu Okike Abiama will continue to inspire him, continue to give him more wisdom, more knowledge, more understanding. I pray that Chukwu Okike Abiama will continue to stand with him. I pray that Chukwu Okike Abiama will continue to increase his strength. It is not a small assignment. He is not engaging, it's a very, very big assignment that he was given. And I thank Chukwu Okike that he accepted that assignment and he's carrying out the assignment. That is why I love Mazi Simon Ekpa. When he said he is 50 men in one, he is more than 50 men in one actually. The position of Prime Minister of Biafran government in exile is not a small position. It comes with a lot of responsibility. It comes with a lot of challenges. It comes with a lot of things. And today you can see he has taken up that challenge once again. And we have to continue to pray for him, continue to support him right, left, and center. Anything you can do to support him, please continue to do so. We have to continue to pray for Master Simon Ekpa in our different zones, in our different areas, in different where we find ourselves, wherever you find yourself. Continue to pray for him for more strength, for more energy to continue to move forward until we get into Biafra. Today, we are going to talk about some of the divine prophecies that have been made. Most of the divine prophecies that have been made in this course of this struggle has been coming to true. They have been coming to reality. They have been coming to reality. Most of the prophecies that Mazen Nandekano have made in the past, every one of us is watching it come to pass. And the only one that we are wasting now is the coming of Biafra, which is coming very, very fast. Faster than you can ever expect. I thank Chukwu Kabiama. When our spokesperson, Mazen Simon, activated the Biafran government in exile, I knew that something was coming. When he activated that, I was so happy. All these are areas that Mazen Nandekano have put in place for a very long time. All these are activities. All these are roadmaps that Mazen Nandekano have put in place. But because Mazen Nandekano all this while have been surrounded with people who are good for nothing. He have been surrounded with people who are agents of hindrances. People who are just concerned about name. People who are selfish, have nothing to offer in their brain. People who cannot bring anything to the table. All this while, it has been only Mazen Nandekano. Within his own self, within his own very self, it has always been the wisdom of Mazen Nandekano. Everything he has in stock was what we are listening to. He has been the only one all this while. Until Mazen Simon Ekpa came on board. And now that Mazen Simon Ekpa is on board, you can now see the difference. You can now see that more things are being added. And I pray, each time I see Mazen Simon Ekpa, what he's doing, each time I hear about the progress Mazen Simon Ekpa is making, I feel like crying. I feel like crying because I wish that Mazen Nandekano was here. If Mazen Nandekano was here today, our journey will be much more easier than it is. Because Mazen Nandekano have waited for this very opportunity that you see today. This very opportunity that you and I are looking at today, Mazen Nandekano have searched for it, looked for it. But it never came. But finally, here are we. Finally, we have gotten that opportunity once again. And every one of us must appreciate it. We must appreciate it. But some people today, they are not paying attention. They are not appreciating the situation. They are not appreciating what Chukwu Ekpa has given to us. He has given us that grace for us to be able to enjoy this very time that we are in. He has made it possible for us to partake in the actualization of Biafra. If you are part of this struggle today, if you are in the autopilot today, part of this struggle, you should applaud yourself. You should applaud yourself. You should thank your staff for making you part of it. That is actually an achievement. So many people have wished that they would be around today, but they were not able to make it. So many people have wished that they would see today come, but they were not able to make it. But finally, here are we. Those of us who were able to make it this far, we should appreciate and continue to thank Chukwu Ekpa for what he has done for us. So many people today are wishing that they would be in the position that we are, but they could not be able to make it. Those of us that have made it this far, I beg you in the name of Chukwu Ekpa, continue to hold your ground. Continue to hold your ground. Do not allow anybody to distract you. Do not allow anybody anywhere to distract you. Either by attack, by temptation, by distraction, by anything. You can see what we are facing in the media. We are getting attacked from different angles, from all the platforms. They don't allow us to go far. They don't allow information to go out. But as much as they are trying to stop us, we continue to fight on. If not for the love I have for Biafra, if not for the love I have for my own people, I will not be talking about Biafra today. Because of the challenges that are coming. Because of the hindrances and obstacles that are coming from right now and center. Sometimes the challenges come from your own people, people you trust on, people who are close to you. That is how bad it is. But are we going to say that we will not do that? We will not do what we're supposed to do? Are we going to say we will not continue to fight because simply some people are going against us? No, we won't. We will continue to do that which is right. That is the difference between those who are choosing and those who are not choosing. That is the difference between those who Chukwu Ekpa have chosen and those who chose themselves. If you are choosing for this mission, nobody is going to distract you. If you are chosen for this mission, nothing will distract you from it. It doesn't matter what you see. It doesn't matter what you hear. It doesn't matter the attack that you face. You will continue to move forward because you know where you are going. And that is why you see our spokesperson, Master Simon Ekpa, today. Very, very consistent in the path that he has taken. At every given time, very consistent. He has never changed. He has never wavered. Just like Mazen Nandekano. Just like Mazen Nandekano. While Mazen Nandekano was, I started following Mazen Nandekano very, very close. Right from 2015. That was when I started following Mazen Nandekano very close. Listen to every of his messages and broadcasts, including question and answers. I started following him. I started studying with him. I started following all his messages. And I discovered that Mazen Nandekano is very pure and clean. Very consistent. He knows what he wants. I have never found him wanting. I've never seen him deviating from what he's pursuing and be looking to something else. No. No. I followed him until when he was released after the first arrest. And today, they kidnapped him. And I continue to follow. I continue to preach the message. And before he's kidnapped, Master Simon Ekpa came on board. Started to preach. I was following Master Simon Ekpa. Even before he was recommended, I followed him closely. I listened to his broadcast. I was watching. Until Master Nandekano himself recognized Master Simon Ekpa and told us to follow him. He recognized and told us to follow him. And many of us keyed in. And you can see, right from the very first day Master Nandekano was kidnapped up to today, Master Simon Ekpa have remained consistent the same way. The same message was preaching. That's the same message he's holding. He has never deviated. He has never changed. He has never arrogated any title to himself. Except for the position that was given to him by the Biafran people. Which was mandatory. Which when you look at it, you see that there's no other way. When he was made the spokesperson of Biafra, it fell on him to be the spokesman of Biafra because there was nobody speaking for the Biafran people. Nobody anywhere speaking for the Biafran people. It fell on him. The mantle fell on him and he picked it up. He never disappoints. He began to speak for Biafran people. He began to call attention to people. He began to preach the message and people began to listen. He began since that very time when he took up the position of the spokesperson of Biafra. He has never wavered. Even when some people gathered themselves together to make him the leader, when people gathered today and tell him to take leadership, he said no. So many of us have forgotten. Those of them who call themselves whatever they call themselves, he do. Before that one, there was a time they came together. All those people, they came together with their bad intent, and they told Master Simon Ekpa an election was conducted online. They did an election. Master Simon Ekpa was not present at that very election. He was not present at that very broadcast. They had the broadcast on their own self. One of the people that have the broadcast today is the one who is supporting one Nigeria, supporting Tinubu. The other, some of them would have disappeared. They are nowhere to be found anymore. They held their own election by themselves and they elected Master Simon Ekpa to be a leader. Master Simon Ekpa responded and said, I am not the leader of the struggle and I will not be. That Mazen Nandekano continues to be the leader of the struggle, the supreme leader of IPOB. And he says it again and again that he is the follower of Mazen Nandekano. He is the disciple of Mazen Nandekano in Biafra struggle. The spiritual son of Mazen Nandekano in Biafra struggle. He said it directly to them. And at the end of the day, it is unbelievable to find out that the same people who appointed him that very time that he rejected, they are the people today who are coming to preach against him as somebody who claims to be the leader. Somebody you appointed within yourself, and he said no, that he will not. That he remains a follower of Mazen Nandekano, a disciple of Mazen Nandekano. Filling in the gap for Mazen Nandekano, that is what he does until Mazen Nandekano comes out. And he made it clear, very, very clear, that Mazen Nandekano remains the leader of the struggle, no matter wherever he is. But that same people today are using the propaganda against him, that he's arrogating authority to himself, that he's arrogating position for it, that he's taking over from Mazen Nandekano. These are the propagandas they preach. And this propaganda is only having effect to people who are not following Master Simon Ekpa. If you have been following Master Simon Ekpa from the very time he joined the IPOB up to the very moment Master Nandekano was kidnapped until today, you have no reason to doubt him. If you can be sincere to yourself, except you have grudges within you, except you have a personal issue with him, except it's out of your hatred, your envy, jealousy, or ignorance, you will now begin to say that Master Simon Ekpa is not following the right way, or Master Simon Ekpa is contesting Master Nnamdi Kanu. But if you are sincere to yourself and you are following event, you will know that Master Simon Ekpa consistently have remained the disciple of Master Nnamdi Kanu, the spiritual son of Master Nnamdi Kanu, and the only thing he does is to keep the legacy of Master Nnamdi Kanu and make sure that everything that Master Nnamdi Kanu put in place is made stronger. Is made stronger. Where there are necessary additions to be made, he makes addition and extend it wider. That is what he has been doing, and he continues to do till tomorrow. And he continues to do that till tomorrow, whether you like it or not. This is a truth that you cannot deny. Please, as you join the broadcast, I beg you in the name of Chukwu Okikabema, kindly share the broadcast. Share the broadcast in any platform you belong, in any WhatsApp group where you are. Share the broadcast. Share it so that people can join us on this very new platform. Because when they discover our platform, we can now be able to proceed. Because in the former platform, we are stopped from there broadcasting. We can broadcast on the former platform. This is a new platform. So please kindly share the broadcast. When you get it, you share in any WhatsApp group you belong, in any group at all you belong, in your own platform, in your own page. Share it so that people can be able to join us. So my fellow Biafrans, if you are a Biafran standing firm today, you must have to sit up. Sit up. The only man that speaks for us today is our spokesperson, Master Simon Ekpa. And I thank you, Kamera. Finally, Biafrans have nominated him. Biafrans nominated him as the Prime Minister of Biafran government in exile. Our spokesperson, Master Simon Ekpa. The spokesperson and the Prime Minister of Biafran government in exile. And for those of you who doesn't know what it means, when we talk about the Biafran government in exile, go and check it up. Look it up on Google. The Google is there. Don't be lazy. Don't join those ignorant ones who talk out of stupidity. Don't join those who talk out of their ignorance. Go and make inquiry. When you hear words, inquire. Go and Google and know what it is. Government in exile is one of the most important things that we must activate before we get into Biafra. Very important, because before you have a nation, the people you're going to approach as your allies will know how far you have gone, whether if you can be able to manage a nation or not. They will like to know the structure you have on ground to manage the place you are calling your own people. To manage, to see if you can be able to handle or manage a country. They will definitely look into that. And this very Biafran government in exile has been in existence. Master Nnamdi Kanu put this in place, but it wasn't activated because there were no competent hand to do that. Every one of them that was running around Master Nnamdi Kanu all this while, they were there for their own selfish interests. Some of them were just agents of hindrance. Some of them were just enemies of Biafra. Some of them are just there for their own personal interests. And what they were doing is that when they see a capable hand, they will make sure you don't come close. When they see somebody who knows better than them, instead of them bringing that very person to learn from that person, they will castigate the person until the person gets away from IPOB. And I bet you, many intelligent people have joined the IPOB in the past and they left because of the ignorance ones, because of the foolish ones who cannot read between the line. They couldn't stand the insult and they left. But when it was the turn of the appointed person, that's why I tell you that if you are appointed by Chukwu Okikabema, no amount of attack, no amount of distraction will make you leave IPOB. If you are appointed by Chukwu Okikabema, no amount of distraction, no amount of cause, no amount of blackmail will make you forget fighting for Biafra. No matter what happens, you will continue to fight. And that is what you see in Master Simon Ekpa. Heavy attack on Master Simon Ekpa for almost 2 years. Everything on him. Blackmail, propaganda from different angles. And he still continues to stand consistently. He continues to stand. He never wavered. But my joy is that in the midst of all the attack and blackmail, have you ever found anybody saying that Master Simon Ekpa stole from him? Not even one person. With all their propaganda, ask them, what crime? Can you point out the crime that Master Simon Ekpa have committed? None. Everyone that is attacking him, they cannot point out one thing they will say that this is what Master Simon Ekpa did. There is no crime you can put. Some of them who are in the part of the One Nigeria, who are castigating him because of the election, today they are regretting. So many of them are approaching him and apologizing. Some who attacked him because of their election, when they thought that was a shortest course for them. People who couldn't see beyond their nose, they couldn't read between the line. But Master Samuel Ekpa was able to read between the line. And because he saw it coming, Master Samuel Ekpa saw clearly what was coming. And he remains consistently telling people, do not get involved. Do not get involved. People who hated him because of that began to call him name. They began to arrogate all criminality in Biafra land to him. They began to say that he sent people to take innocent life. They began to say that he's attacking Biafran people. But today, before your own very eyes, you have seen confessions coming. People are confessing. People who perpetrate, who sponsor the criminality in Biafra land, they have now been exposed. On video, you saw people confessing on video, the people who were sponsoring them to take life, including taking the life of a chief in Biafra land. Taking the life of a chief in Biafra land. The same people who claim to be working for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The same people who claim to respect Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The people who claim they are protecting Biafrans. But all this while, we know they are all working against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They are all fighting and making sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu doesn't see the light of the day. Even though they succeeded in selling him. But Chukwu Okeke, who gave Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, knew the reason why he took Mazi Nnamdi Kanu out. I have said it several times on my broadcast that Chukwu Okeke permitted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to go and have a rest. Even though it's a difficult one. But where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now is a rest. Chukwu Okeke kept him that very place to secure him until when it is right for him to raise the flag. That was why they could not be able to touch his life, even when they had all the opportunities. We are talking about 8 days in the hand of the enemy. 8 days in enemy territory without anybody knowing about it. 8 good days in the enemy's territory without anybody knowing about it until when the enemy himself came out and spoke. It is only miracle that will make that to be possible. Every one of you know how evil the contraption called Nigeria is. You know how they love taking innocent lives. You know how they love wasting people. It doesn't matter where you stand. It doesn't matter your belief. It doesn't matter your direction. It doesn't matter who you are. More especially when you are Igbo Biafran. You know how the Janjaweed enjoy taking you out. They had that opportunity for 8 days, but they could not do anything. It is only Chukwu Okeke that made that possible. And I tell people, in that 8 days, 8 days is enough to do anything they want to do, and you will never find out. Take, for example, the journalist that was melted at Saudi embassy. Saudi embassy was in Tokyo, so a journalist that entered into an embassy, entered in an embassy. Within a space of hours, within a space of 1 hour or 2 hours, they took away his life, melted him with acid, and that was it. They dissolved the man completely within a space of hours. But these people had the opportunity in the life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for good 8 days. They couldn't do anything. It is only a miracle. Because he is on a mission. Because Chukwu Okeke want to keep him until the right time. And I tell you, when that right time comes, there is nothing you can do about it. There is nothing any man on the planet Earth will do about it. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will raise the flag of Biafra. Today, I personally can tell you the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu detention was permitted by Chukwu Okeke was for him to be able to give way, so that the person that will filter the evil in IPOB will come in. That was exactly what happened. And our spokesperson, the current Prime Minister of Biafra government in exile, Mazi Samuel Ekpa, he is the right person, and he came on board. And from the moment he came on board, all the enemies of Biafra became afraid. All the saboteurs, all the evil men became restless. They began to fight him day and night. But the only man that was just in IPOB, which is the leader of IPOB, our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, recognized this man when he saw him. Immediately he set his eye on Mazi Samuel Ekpa. He recognized him and he told us, he himself, in his own word, said it, that this man is bringing a new dimension into the struggle. And from that moment, we were all waiting to see that new dimension. We were all waiting. And I tell you, that new dimension would have not manifested properly if Mazen Nandekano was still with us. I bet you it will not manifest. If Mazen Nandekano was with us, the new dimension would have not manifested. It would have been hindered. Because all these evil men will still have access to hinder Mazen Nandekano. Mazen Nandekano is just one person. He can't be everywhere at the same time. And Mazen Nandekano is somebody who is so diplomatic and open to people. Very diplomatic and open. If Mazen Nandekano was about the new dimension cannot take effect properly. Because all these saboteurs you see today, this department of saboteur, they will still be there pushing out blackmails, propaganda. And that is what they are good at doing. That is what they have been doing all this while, for more than a decade that they are in their struggle. What they do is that when they see somebody who has a tangible contribution to make, because they see that that person has more wisdom than they are, they begin to see that person as a threat. Once they see somebody who knows better than them, they begin to see that person as a threat. This is what has been existing in IPOB for a very long time.